Hey guys, welcome to the 716 Sports Entertainment Podcast, episode number 69. God, we've done 69 of these things already. That's crazy. We are going to be breaking down Friday night SmackDown from December the 5th, where we have our winner in the Never Say Never 17 all-the-time champion of champions, John Cena tournament. Last time is now matchup, and to nobody's surprise, it is Gunther.
Yep.
And we're going to break it all down. So, welcome to the show. As always, I am Mike, joined by my co-host, Mr. Sean O'Neill. And how are we feeling that now that we know to, like, as I said, to nobody's surprise, it is Gunther?
I mean, like you just said, it was ever since they announced that there was going to be a tournament, it was pretty much announced that it was going to be Gunther. I will say I don't necessarily agree with how we got there 100%, but I will say that that finals match was a hell of a match. And Gunther brought things out of LA Knight that I didn't realize LA Knight had. Honestly, I was kind of pulling for him to pull off the upset, even though I knew it wouldn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, we've said this 100 times on this channel. Gunther is one of the best wrestlers in the world. Like, Gunther could wrestle a paper bag to a five-star match. He
Yeah.
absolutely could. He is incredible. And I don't get, I don't, I mean, I get it. Maybe it's because it's the safe choice, but looking at the original field of this tournament, I don't get why A, this was a surprise to anybody, and B, why there is so much hate for Gunther like out there. There's a ton of people on the internet that just don't like Gunther. I don't get that at all. But like I really want to focus on just like when you saw the original field of this tournament, who else was it going to be? I mean,
Yeah.
I think you would have been more pissed if it was just about anybody else. And I'm sorry, like it wasn't going to be Edge. Like I know everybody wanted it to be Edge, but it wasn't going to be Edge. And like it wasn't going to be one of the two NXT guys, as cool as that would have been. It wasn't going to be Joe Hendry. Thank God it wasn't Jey Uso.
That's what I was gonna say.
You know what
I
I
think
mean?
that
And
that
it wasn't going to be the Miz, you know? And we already had the program with Dominic Mysterio. So like the only other person who actually honestly would have been okay with would have been Dominic Mysterio. But he had his Survivor Series thing with Cena. So like who else was it going to be?
so Jay would have really, really angered me
Hmm.
if he made it there. And I want to make a comment real quick about your Gunther and a paper bag uh comment. He already did that. And that paper bag's name was Goldberg. But um, no, looking at that original field, I mean, yeah, they theoretically could have used this as a huge springboard for someone like Javon Evans, but they already have plans for him, as we saw by him winning the Iron Survivor last night. They're He's going to be NXT champion, and they you can tell that they're incredibly high on him just by the fact that he took part in this tournament. I mean, yeah, it was a first round exit, but it was a first round exit to Gunther.
Yeah.
Honestly, there's outside of Gunther, there's two other people that I would have been okay with winning this. One of them would have been LA Knight because I think it would have been huge just to maybe get him on the right track. I think that he was probably the lowest percentage of winning, in my opinion, though, out of my three. My second choice would have been Carmelo Hayes. I think that a Carmelo Hayes winning this would have been a course correction of the perfect degree for his career. And I mean, just look at what we saw in his match versus Gunther. I honestly would have been happy with that being the finals. But
Yeah, I agree.
at the end of it all, we got what we expected, which is the safe choice of Gunther and the easy story of, well, I retired Goldberg, now I'm going to retire Cena, and like his comments about like after the match and before the match, like perfect heel storytelling, perfect. And like I said, he is the they made the comment during the match. I think it was Corey Graves that said like Gunther would have fit in any era, and
Hmm.
he absolutely would have. He is the if you want to make a prototypical heel wrestler, it's Gunther,
And Gunther's only 36 years old. He's
which is
not
crazy.
he's not 40. He's not like 42, 44. He's 36. He is going to be wrestling for another 10 years. The
Yep.
way the way he wrestles he could go for another 10 years. Easy. Like what Randy Orton's what, 45, 46.
Yep.
Gunther absolutely could go that long the way he wrestles. He's not a high flyer. He's not one of these guys who's gonna like take the kind of bump that will injure him. Because let's face it, like, no, spoiler shocker here, but like 80% of the injuries in wrestling are to like the smaller high flyer guys.
Yep.
Like we see it, like, especially in AEW, you see it all the time. And I know AEW is a bit more unsafe than WWE, but like all of the injuries occur on crazy spots. They all occur on crazy spots. Like it's a freak thing when it happens. But yes, sometimes somebody lands wrong off of like a regular move and they get hurt. But like for the most part, that doesn't typically happen. It
Nope.
doesn't typically happen. And Gunther is so safe. He's such a safe wrestler. And his moveset, while boring, I mean, it's great. He's just great. His in-ring work, his storytelling, his ability to like put people over, it's outstanding. Like he makes everybody he wrestles look like $1 million. Like you just said, he made LA Knight look like $1 million. He made Carmelo look like $1 million. He made Javon Evans, I mean, who already is great, look great. He made The Miz look great. Remember that 2 years
Yep.
ago when he was IC champ and we were all pulling for The
Yep.
Miz to win the IC title back? Like he makes everybody look great.
The thing about Gunther too is like you made the comment about him having a boring move set, but he even makes those boring moves look good. Like
Mhm.
he is such an the epitome of a powerhouse wrestler, and like every move that he does, it looks like it hurts, and he just does them so well and so smooth in the ring that you're right. He's safe. But he makes it look believable, and you aren't wrong the way injuries happen. I mean, either they're flukes from people on these high flyers, or it's people doing things they're not supposed to, and it's avoidable. And he wrestles safe, but he wrestles believable. And I still stick with my thought that I think Cena's going to end up winning overall, but I think that that works with Gunther too, because Gunther can you work that into his storyline.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still on the fence about that. I think when we do our predictions, I'm still probably gonna pick Gunther because I still feel like it's the right thing to do. But I'm not opposed to what you said happening where we see Dwayne
Yeah,
at the end of it. I'm really not. I'm really, really not. So yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see until next Saturday when we finally get this show, which a couple other matches were announced on SmackDown for this show as well, which we will get right into. So the show opened up with Drew McIntyre kind of appearing via in a vehicle. He was quickly intercepted by Nick Aldis, who reminded him that he was still suspended. As McIntyre attempted to leave, Cody Rhodes appeared and attacked him in his truck until they were kind of pulled apart. Cody Rhodes then stormed to the ring and tells McIntyre that he's a quote cockroach in WWE and demands that Nick Aldis reinstate him. So I guess this will continue, and I got to imagine that this is probably going to be, I don't know, when's the next time they would do this? Because Cody's going to be facing Oba Femi next weekend at the Saturday night's main event. So it seems like the Netflix debut Raw is going to be already booked for that other title match. So are we just going to wait until the Royal Rumble to do this?
they're going to build to the Rumble with it, and
Or
I
or that
think
Saturday night's main event in January?
oh, there is one in January.
Mhm.
It may be that then, but yeah, I bet it's that because I feel like Drew, you want to have Drew in the actual Rumble. So I feel like that's probably going to be where it's at.
Didn't they already have one match at a Saturday night's main event though? And I think
Yeah, the
if
very
by,
first one.
and by doing that, it guarantees Drew is not going to win because you're
Yeah,
not
maybe the
taking the
smarter
title off
play.
of Cody on Saturday night's main event. I could see them taking the title off of Cody at the Royal Rumble because it's a big show, but I do not see them taking the title off of him at a Saturday night's main event the week before the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, the smarter play is probably to save it for the Rumble and just I just that's what almost a 2 month feud though leading up to that. I'm curious to see
Mm, yeah, I
exactly
mean,
how.
a month and a half. I mean, they could leave McIntyre suspended for a few weeks,
have
like,
him have him troll Cody for a couple weeks.
well, I mean, because we're going to be into the Christmas season in a little bit, right? And typically they give them off the last 2 weeks of the year anyway, because there's really no shows the last couple of weeks of the year anyway, you know?
They pre-tape him, right?
Well, no, I think the Christmas week one, like the week of, whatever it is this year. What do the dates look like this year? Um, the one on the SmackDown on the 26th, and then probably Raw on the 29th or the 22nd will probably not be like a show. It'll be like a year recap kind of show. And then probably the same thing for the New Year's SmackDown. And then the Raw on the 5th is when it'll probably start over again. So we probably won't see anything significant on 22, 29, 26, and 2 for those Raws and those SmackDowns, I gotta imagine.
I can see that. I mean,
Because
they
I think they,
usually
I
do.
think they did that last year. I think they gave everybody those last 2 weeks of the year off.
I mean, I'm curious to see with Netflix doing Raw now if they do anything a little different. But I mean, maybe they can do like a Netflix special instead.
They probably will. One of them will be a recap kind of thing, and it'll probably be, hosted by Byron Saxton and Kathy Kelly or something like that. You know how they usually do that kind of nonsense.
I bet we get a Raw on the 22nd, but then I think the one after, you're probably right.
Yeah. So yeah, but yeah. So McIntyre Rhodes 3, 4. Is this 3, right?
Three.
And that's the thing, and that's the problem, right? Because like we cannot stop telling these damn stories. Like. And the other big one, obviously, on this show as well was a backstage segment, but it's going to be again Aleister Black versus Damian Priest. But this time, shock, we're adding women to the match too.
The woman.
Like, I don't care. I don't care. So, like, I guess Io and Rhea are just done as a team then
You
right
know,
now because like Rhea's just going to help him like 100% now that Damian Priest is going to win that match, right? Whenever it happens, because Rhea will not lose.
I think this is just going to be a temporary thing again, where she's just coming to help him because they needed him for a mixed tag match. I do have a
So
question though. What has changed with us as wrestling fans now as we're older that these long feuds just don't do it for us like they used to? Because think back, like The Rock and Dwayne feuded for like ever. And like all like early in the Attitude Era, those feuds were long feuds, but we didn't mind it.
because
Like
other
what would
things happened in between. That's
yeah,
why. Like, yeah, like the even like going back to like the mega powers, right? Like you planted the seeds of things, but you didn't do like 6 matches in a row, right? And that's kind of the problem now. It's just match after match after match, PLE after PLE after PLE. And it doesn't make it feel like a big deal, right? And when a feud seems like it should naturally be over, it's not naturally over, right? And then you have it, and in a way, a lot of these feuds end is kind of nonsense bullshit. Like a fireball, really? Like, you know what I mean? Like that was stupid. Like you need, and like some of these feuds, they're great and they have logical endings. Like CM Punk and Drew McIntyre from a couple of years ago. Like that had a logical ending inside of a Hell in a Cell. You know what I
that's what they
mean?
need to do.
But here is a long-term story, and I know injuries have hurt this a little bit, but here's a long-term story that I'm still excited about. CM Punk and Seth Rollins.
Yeah,
We have not really gotten, I mean, we've gotten kind of like they've been involved in matches together, but we've not gotten that one-on-one match for the title yet between them. And I still want that. You
yeah.
know what I mean? And there are other ones as well that they tell long-term stories for where you don't have them fight each other right away, like Cody and Roman a couple of years ago as well, where, Cody lost similar to Cena losing to Dwayne the previous year, and then the entire thing was getting Cody to face Roman again, right? A whole year, but you had them face other people in between, right? He did 6 months with Brock, which was frankly way too long, but part of that too is you only have a handful of caliber of stars with which you can kind of do that with. You can't do it with everybody, and you've got to have your mid-card guys doing stuff like that. But you've got
That
enough you've got enough mid-card guys where you don't need to have them doing the same thing over and over and over again. Like, explain to me why Aleister Black can't be facing LA Knight or Shinsuke Nakamura or Gunther or anybody. You know what I mean? Carmelo Hayes. There's so many guys, you know? And it's like that's a year's worth of storytelling right there. You know what I mean? Sheamus. Like there's
yeah.
so many guys that he could be feuding with. And you just do the same thing over and over and over again. And I don't get it, you know?
I mean, you weren't wrong. That Cody and Roman storyline was the perfect example of long-term storytelling. Honestly, I think what WWE needs to get back into is the habit of like, if you're going to do a feud and you want it to be a little bit longer, it should be a three-match feud. You have your match that each of them take, and then you have your like Hell in a Cell major stipulation rubber blow-off match. And I think they need to get back in the swing of utilizing that setup for their feuds because I don't think people would be angry with a three-match feud because theoretically you could drag a three-match feud out to 4 months if you wanted to.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I've always said this, like storytelling is easy because you let these guys do most of it. You just
Yeah,
you let them talk. You let them tell the story. It's so storytelling is so easy. It's such an easy thing. You've got professional writers that just can't seem to get this to get like to make this right sometimes. And it's so safe to just book the same crap over and over and over again. And the problem is, we've said this 1,000 times. The audience is going to keep putting up with it. And one of our subscribers commented on this a couple of weeks ago, where it's just like people are going to continue to go to these shows, people are going to continue to spend the money, and it doesn't matter, right? And that's the thing. Like, I don't ever want to go back to the Vince era of things where you had one guy just doing whatever the hell he wanted. But at the same time, now it's an entertainment company now. It's not a wrestling company anymore. And I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I don't want it to be AEW. Don't get me wrong. I do not want it to be AEW. But I think there's a happy medium, and I think we're kind of too far down the let's plaster our advertising feces all over the ring, and it's a bit too much now, I think. Brought to you by Jimmy John's.
I mean, you definitely have a problem when two guys on a podcast can come up with better ideas than professional writers.
Right.
Like, I'm
And we're not the
sorry,
only
but
ones. Everybody on the internet does that. Like
and
there
I'm
are
not
there
saying
are
those two guys are
hundreds of
writers.
channels where people can book this better than the writers do. I mean, everybody thinks they know better, but I don't know.
How hard though is it to write a story that makes a little bit of sense? These guys, like you said, are supposed to be professional writers. I mean, this Alistair Black, just to get back on topic, this Alistair Black Damian Priest feud. It was easy enough to write. Alistair Black takes out Priest, gets Priest back into his old school punishment mode, and that's what you use this storyline for. Then you use that to put Priest back into the main event for a little while to give
Sure.
Cody a challenger.
Yeah.
Like,
Why
how
why
hard is it
can't
to tell that
why
story?
can't we do Damian Priest and Cody Rhodes? He doesn't need to win, but why can't we do it?
Or you do the reverse, where Alistair Black comes out of this feud having put down Priest to feud with Cody because he's put down a big guy like Priest. It's not that
Hmm.
hard to do. Half of the people like us on the internet could write something like that.
Yep. Yep. The one thing I will say that was there are a couple of positives on this show. Obviously, again, the US Open Challenge. Like I can't say enough good things about Ilya Dragunov.
Yep.
He's absolutely incredible. And his the match that they had with Melo was absolutely amazing. Like what a spectacular match. It was so so good. And they are still furthering the feud with him and Tommaso Ciampa, which may hit at like a PLE. Maybe it'll be at the next Saturday night's main event when they decide to do that, if they can wait that long to do this. But yeah, absolutely spectacular. And I'm ready for them to pull the trigger on Melo.
Yep.
I don't know how they're going to do it, but I'm ready for them to pull the trigger on Melo and move him up the card.
I think you move Melo to Raw and you have him in the Intercontinental title race. I think that's the perfect spot for Melo, and you have him end up winning it. I don't know who you end up having him beat. I guess it depends on if you want him to be a heel or face. I think he works better as a heel, but I think that he should have a mid card title on him. But I don't think it needs to be the U.S. title because I don't want Ilja Dragunov to drop that for the next 6 years.
Yeah, I mean, I might eventually be okay with it, but I think it's gonna last. It's gonna be a little while. But I love the idea of a fighting champion, though.
Yep.
You know, and actually, to be honest with you, I wouldn't hate it if he dropped it to Ciampa for a month. I
Yeah.
wouldn't hate it. And then either won it back or Carmelo wins it back or whatever, you know. That should be what that title's for. Like that title should be just used to put awesome matches on TV every week, you know?
I mean, we've talked about it. All SmackDown needs to do when it goes 3 hours is have a really good US Open match and a really good tag team match. And that'll take up a significant portion of the show.
Hmm?
I think that the tormenting of Ciampa is part of what's making this story so well. And honestly, they're doing the long-term storytelling pretty well with that. Like that's
Hmm.
one where they're getting it right. And I hope that it continues. And I want I like the idea of fighting champion, like you said. I think that it's not utilized enough. It's why I liked when they first brought back the Raw Championship and Seth won it. Seth was defending that championship almost every Raw, and I think there needs to be more champions. Honestly, I think every championship should be defended at least twice a month. At least.
No, I'm going to disagree with you there. I
I
do not I do not think that Cody's title should be defended twice a month.
Let me rephrase that. Non-heavyweight title. So the non-main title. I think any of the tag team titles should be defended multiple times a month. The U.S. title, the women's tag title, the minor titles, the Intercontinental title, all non-major titles should be defended at least twice a month.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do think that the women's title, because I don't think it carries the prestige that the men's title does. I
Not
think
yet.
the women's title, one of them, not both of them, but one of those two titles on either Stephanie or Jade should be defended once a month
Yep.
at a minimum. Because I think it helps elevate the women and I think it helps get them, get a little bit more onto these shows. But I wanted to go back to your point because it's a good segue into the next match. Um, the another thing that as well, which WWE, I'll give to their credit, is doing a good job with, finally, is the women's tag team division. They realize that they've got a lot of good women that can be in like that are not doing anything with, that are not involved in title feuds right now, that can be in tag teams and you can make your tag team division good. You've got Alexa and Charlotte, you've got Rhea and Io, you've got the Kabuki Warriors, you've got Naya and what's her face? Lash, and you've got Bailey and Lyra. You've got all of these women like that are involved in this. And you know what you can do very easily? Have either a tag team match or have Alexa and Kyrie have a match and have it be awesome. Because it was good. And you can do that kind of thing every week. And we're gonna do it again next week. Alexa is gonna face what is it, Lyra, right?
Lash.
Next week, Lash next week. So I mean, you can continue to do that and build number one contenders going into PLEs, or to just bigger shows once a month. You know what I mean? Like you can absolutely do that, and it's so easy to do. And that leads me into like where I have a problem with the booking of the men's tag team titles. But I'll let you talk about this first before we get into that.
I agree. I think that them with this women's tag title, it hasn't been this good since before Sasha Banks and Naomi screwed things up. Because if you look back at the history of the women's tag title, it was when it first got debuted was running really well. They were having really good feuds with all those different women back then. And then the Sasha Naomi incident happened, and ever since then, it felt like they couldn't figure out what the hell to do with the women's tag titles. And now to see them actually committed to utilizing big name women to elevate them is fantastic. Plus the fact that it allows you to use all these women that are always in the main title picture for something besides the main title. It lets you have people like Jade as your champion, people like Tiffany as your champion, people who are not like someone you would normally fully expect to be champion.
Well, we'll talk about Jade in a minute, but I think this is also kind of to the detriment of the men's tag team titles a little bit
Yeah.
because they're doing a good job with the women's titles, but lately they are not doing a good job with the men's titles at all. And you know what? Get it off of the damn Wyatts. Like what are we doing? We're putting our titles on cartoon characters. Like, I mean, it's cool that they're going into a feud with the MFTs, and Solo did the best he could with that promo to try and like save this feud. He really did. Solo's promo was great. I give Solo a lot of props. It was a great promo, but it's stupid. Put it on the MFTs. Please, God, let the MFTs win those tag team titles so they can go on to a proper team. I'm just I don't it's 2026 almost. I don't need cartoon characters as my title holders anymore in professional wrestling. I don't. They're a
I
cool
mean,
gimmick, but I don't need it anymore.
I like the tag team of Loomis and Joe Gacy as part of the Wyatts, but I would like it more if they were actually out there having matches. I think that's the
Once
big
every other month.
I think that's the big problem for me is with the way they're booking the Wyatts. I don't care if you do them in singles matches against other like tag team people, just singles matches between them, or just other tag matches, just something. Get these guys in. I mean, has Eric Rowan had an actual match yet?
I don't think so.
Like, get these guys in. Like, why hasn't Nikki Cross had a match anywhere yet? Like, get these guys in matches, and I would be happier with that. And I will say, I think that promo from Solo was probably one of the best promos he's done. And I really liked the shots he was taking at Bo not being anywhere near Bray quality. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And that being like a cheap knockoff. It felt like it felt like real life heat kind of there. And
Yeah.
like that kind of nasty all you gotta do is Bo leave at the end felt like it was a real direct shot at Bo Dallas himself, which
Yeah.
honestly, I'm all for it. I think that this has the potential to be a hard hitting, like meaningful feud, and I'm fine with the MFTs leaving with the titles afterwards. Because, like you said, get them on a team that's actually going to defend them.
Yeah. And you know what? I want Solo to win.
The feud, you mean?
I want Solo to win the feud.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
I
fine with.
gotta be honest. I'm really behind Solo lately. I like Solo a lot lately. I'm really into it. I'm glad that he's away from the title picture now, and I think that group is they're wrestling every week. That group is out there doing stuff every week. They're involved in different programs. They're beating the crap out of lots of people. You got the one Tongan, staring down for the U.S. title in a backstage segment. Like they're all over the place on SmackDown. And the Wyatts are the actual title holders, and they're nowhere to be found because they're cartoon characters.
I,
So I'm all about the MFTs. I think they're great.
I think now that they're letting Solo actually put his personality into things, it has completely saved his character. And you know what? This version of Solo as the takeover tribal chief, I think would have worked 1,000 times better. Let him show more personality than just trying to be a knockoff mob boss. You know what I mean? I mean he's still a knockoff mob boss, but now he's at least funny about it.
Yeah, yeah, completely agree. So, two things that are not so good. The women's champion, Jade Cargill, defeating Alba Fyre in a nonsense match.
I didn't
Like
even watch it.
a complete nonsense match. I mean, it was 50-50 for a little while, but then Jade just beat her. And you did have Chelsea getting involved, and then you kind of did have Julia come out and clock Chelsea and like whatever, but I don't care. I don't care at all. Unless this leads to Julia becoming the champion, I don't care. I don't care at all. I'm not interested at all in Jade being the champion. I'm not interested at all in the entire women's title scene because then you had a backstage segment a little bit later with Jade and Michin and BFAB, and I'm like, what are we doing? Like what are we doing? This is who your main champion is going to be feuding with, Michin and BFAB and Alba Fyre. Like what are we doing? What are we doing?
I mean, I always love me some Chelsea Green. I think the how fully committed she is to her character is fantastic. But like I said, I didn't even watch this match. I have zero interest in Jade Cargill as champion. I have zero interest in Jade Cargill as a person. I have zero interest in Jade Cargill even being in WWE. And I'm pretty sure that that makes clear what my thoughts on Jade Cargill are.
Yeah, she needed to spend more time in developmental. She really did. She's not a good wrestler. She's not a safe wrestler, and she can't cut a promo. We've always said she's got the look. She looks like $1 million. She really does. She's built like a brick shit house, but she can't do anything right. And I know wrestling's hard, and I'm sitting here behind a monitor, like mocking, making fun of somebody a little bit, but like you've got so many other talented women on your roster who would be a better choice. And I don't know why we're doing. Is it because it has to be because of how much they vested in her,
Yeah.
right? How much like they put behind her, like they've put the machine behind her, right?
Yep.
So I get it, but it's not working. The audience isn't into it at all. Like the crickets during these segments. And she can't cut a promo. So
Jade, yeah.
like what are we doing?
Jade desperately needed to go to NXT before coming to the main roster.
Or
And
give her a manager.
yeah, have someone do the talking for her because she and WWE should have seen this when they signed her. AEW gave Jade Cargill the Goldberg treatment. They skyrocketed her to the top of the card. They put her on their Friday night show with that title where she had 30-second matches with people and held the title for a year and a half, winning however many matches in squash matches. It was 100% the Goldberg treatment, which is what you do when people aren't that good. I mean, yeah, everyone says, oh, Goldberg's a legend, but we all know Goldberg was not a good wrestler. I mean, he was not generally a good promo person. It was just his personality that made Goldberg, I think, get over as much as he did.
Well, and the
And
streak. The streak
yeah,
is what made good. Like, because
but
after
his
Goldberg lost
personality with
this,
the streak,
yeah, after he lost the streak, Goldberg was a shell of himself.
yes. So WWE, with having had Goldberg in their past, should have been smart enough to know with what they were getting from AEW. And I feel like this may have been a case of them just wanting to sign somebody away from AEW. And like you said, because they vested so much into this particular character, they're kind of stuck with it now.
Yeah, yeah. It's not great. It was the one blemish on an otherwise relatively well booked SmackDown,
Yeah,
surprisingly.
for a
So
SmackDown.
yeah, so that was our show. So what is your final thoughts and your final rating for the show?
So I like you said, it was for the most part a relatively well booked show. I'm excited that they announced a couple more matches for the Saturday Night main event. The Gunther LA Knight. I mean, I believe I said on our Monday Raw that that alone was going to save this episode of SmackDown. Was fantastic. The way they ended it with him yelling at Cena about how he was going to tap out. I loved it. And honestly, give it a 3.5 out of 5 stars.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. I mean, Solo's promo was great. The main event was excellent. And while I'm not super interested in like all of the repeat matches that, are kind of continuing to happen here, I'm still very much on a high right now because I'm really, really looking forward to the Saturday night's main event next
Yep.
weekend. And I think that's going to be I mean, I don't know. I don't know how great of a show it's going to be, but it's more of just kind of a nostalgia thing for me at this point. Like I'm a bit I don't know if melancholy is the right word here, but I'm kind of feeling that way, just thinking like, God, I've been watching John Cena for 25 years and like this is it, and I guess melancholy is the right word. And yeah, so I would say with that, my final rating for the show is a um can't even say it. I'm gonna change it. Is a never gonna quit out of five. So with that, thank you guys so much as always for joining us. Let us know what you think in the comments down below. We do read and respond to every comment, and we look forward to hearing from you guys what you think about the show. Is SmackDown actually better? Are we on the right track heading into the new year? And what are you thinking about Saturday night's main event? Let us know, and we'll catch up with you guys later. Have yourselves a fantastic day, and take care.